you for being here today. It is an honor to stand before you and celebrate this moment with the class of 2026. They say these are the best years of our lives. But for me, what gives me strength is believing that life will not always feel this way. Because behind this cap and gown are more than memories. There is a story. Story of starting over in a place where everything felt familiar. Where voices surround me, but I couldn't understand them. Where I wanted to ask questions, but I didn't know how. Where I heard words that sounds like noise. Where every day felt like a challenge. And yet, day after day, I kept trying. I remember sitting in classrooms, hearing words I didn't know, wanting to speak, having complex thoughts and questions of my own, but not having the language to do it. And slowly, I went from feeling confident to feeling like a living ghost moving from class to class. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I didn't yet have all the words. But even in that silence, I kept going. I kept showing up. I kept trying. Even when I felt embarrassed, even when I felt like I didn't belong. And even through the challenges, I wasn't completely alone. I met people who took the time to translate for me, teachers who were patient, classmates who pushed me to try, even when I was scared, people who were curious about my culture, who made me feel seen. Those moments matter more than they probably know. Because sometimes one small act of kindness can change how someone sees themselves. At home, I was also learning. I became someone my family could rely on. Helping, translating, figuring things out in a world that didn't always feel made for us. There were moments that hurt, moments that made everything feel heavy. Moments that show me how unfair life can be. Sorry. But instead of breaking me, they built me. They taught me strength. They taught me resilience. They taught me that even when things feel uncertain, you can still keep going. And somewhere along the way, I stopped being afraid of making mistakes. I stopped apologizing for not knowing everything. The girl who once was afraid to speak became someone that could stand in front of a room and be heard. Thank you. Thank you. The girl who felt invisible learned that her story mattered. The girl who once struggled to find the right words finally found her voice. Not a perfect voice, not a loud one, but a real one. One that understands the struggle. One that feels deeply. One that knows what it's like to feel unseen and still choose to rise. I feel like we are a generation that reveals itself in silence. We don't always show everything we go through, but we go through it anyway. 50 years from now, when someone looks back at our generation, I hope they don't just see what we achieved. I hope they see what we survived, the nights we doubt ourselves, the moments we almost gave up, the quiet strength talk just to keep going. Because we are not just a generation that lives through challenges. We are the generation that refuse to be defined by them. And me, I still can't believe I'm graduated, because when I first got here, I didn't even know how to say hello. And now, I finally have all the words. Thank you. Mi último agradecimiento va para la mujer de la que recibí el nombre y la vida. Mi madre, Lady Quintero. Gracias, mamá, por mostrarme lo que es la fortaleza, incluso cuando la vida no era fácil. Gracias por nunca rendirte, aun cuando todo era incierto. Me mostraste que la verdadera fuerza no siempre hace ruido. A veces es silenciosa, constante y llena de amor. Supiste quién era yo mucho antes de yo averiguarlo. Creíste en mí y me mostraste y me enseñaste y me diste las raíces que hoy me permiten crecer. Todo lo que soy también es gracias a ti. Hoy no solo soy yo quien se gradúa. Este diploma está dedicado a quien lo hizo posible. A mi madre, mi mentora y mi mejor amiga. Te amo, mamá. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to ask School Board President, Mrs. Alice Hope,